So the Torah is the most important.
This is going to be a big one today because today we're going to defend the Talmud against all the terrible things the Talmud seems to say. So first of all, I just want to bookmark this video because there's going to be a lot of different points. So here's the bookmark of the video. Feel free to skip ahead to those parts to the answers that you want. Let's start. First of all, thank you so much, Charlie. Thank you for always doing an amazing job protecting that which is most important, our republic, democracy, and our conservative values. And a special thank you to you not going down the dark tunnel that many of your colleagues have gone and the path of hate.
Followed by the Tanakh. Tanakh stands for Torah, Nivalim, right, and Kvetchim, which...
The Torah is comprised of three parts. Tanakh, Torah, Nevi'im, Kesuvim. Torah, the 5 books of Moses, the prophets, and then the writings, which have the later prophets, and they have things like Esther, Ecclesiastes, Proverbs, etc.
And then, after the Tanakh, comes the Talmud. Now, so it is not necessarily considered to be canonical or authoritative.
Let me just clarify. The Talmud is authoritative, if not canonical, according to conservative, Orthodox, and ultra-Orthodox Jews. It is not canonical because it does not introduce any new biblical laws. However, it introduces many rabbinical laws that much of the religious Judaism practices. And to clarify, it uses exegesis to figure out the interpretation of the Torah. So therefore, things that a random and casual reader of the Torah, and even a young novice scholar would read, would not necessarily derive the meaning of the Torah. And what the Talmud does is, using exegesis, tells you what actually the Torah says. So much of what the Talmud says actually is biblical in nature. My first defense of the Talmud is the impact it had. I like to say no Gentiles have been harmed in the writing of the Talmud. Even if everything you say is true, and even if things that you say that are not true are true, and you heap more things, what was the impact? Not a single pogrom, expulsion, inquisition, war, assault were created or done in the name of the Talmud. Not a single blood libel, not a single genocide, not even a beating. There is nowhere in history where Jews committed any crimes at all upon Gentiles because of the teachings of the Talmud. Can you say that about your Christian writing? Second event to the Talmud. Before you get to all the things that the Talmud said, your book said it first. Jews are damned to hell. Jews can never receive salvation or heaven. Talmudic scholars are hypocrites. Talmudic Jews will never enter heaven. Talmudic Jews do not practice what they preach. Jews only care about showing off, but do not practice behind closed doors. Jews are petty and money grubbing. Jews only pay lip service to their customs, but they ignore all the commandments of God. Jews worship the devil. Did not your own Lord say, "Let him who's without sin among you be the first to throw stones"? Finally, let's take this piecemeal by piecemeal, okay? Go.
Getting 56 refers to Jesus burning in hell.
Jesus burning in hell, I have other videos about that, but 3 very quick points. Number 1, Jesus is not named in that passage. Number 2, even if it is him, it was a Gentile that is quoted as saying that. And number 3, the verse that the rabbinical teaching is based off of is actually clarified and corrected in Tractate Eruvin.
Jesus being a fornicator. Shabbat 104b says that Mary was a
Jesus was a bad. Let's take both of them together, okay? Now take this, for instance. Your own books say that while Mary was betrothed to Joseph, she had Jesus. What do you call it when a woman who is betrothed to someone else has relations with someone else and then has their child? What do you call that child? And if you're going to say Mary was non-consensual on her part, can you possibly say that Mary was non-consensual to an act of God?
Baba Messiah 24a reads that if a Jew finds an object that a Gentile goy has lost, does not have to return it.
A Jew does not have to return many objects. If you don't know who it belongs to and there's no identification markings on it, you don't return it, whether it's a Jew or whether it's a Gentiles.
Yebamath 98a says all children of Goyim are animals. Tuspoth Jebamath 84b says if you eat with a goy, it is the same as eating with a dog.
It does call idol worshippers like animals in the fact that they don't have lineage or heritage. They also don't possibly have a soul. Do Christians disagree and say idol worshippers do have lineage, heritage, and a soul? And yes, there is strong language in the Talmud regarding Gentiles being compared to animals because it's very important that Jews and Gentiles do not mix, because that's where assimilation happens. Like always, any questions, let me know.